So last week at Grant Cardone's GrowthCon, we realized the importance of one little element that a lot of business owners don't pay attention to. And what that is your elevator pitch. We've all heard of the importance of being able to explain if you were caught on the elevator with someone important who could become your client or your strategic partner. How do you do that, and what are some of the keys to successfully pitching your company in 30 seconds or less while you're on the elevator with a potential client or a potential partner? And so this really came full circle for us as we were at GrowthCon last week in Las Vegas, because a lot of our clients were there at GrowthCon. We had some come up that had gone through our system that gave us testimonials, but we had a lot come up who had questions about how the program works. And we also had a lot of partners who wanted to understand better, how could we work together? And the first key to getting a client or a partner excited to work with you is not by talking about yourself. If you've read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, you'll realize it's way more important to let people talk about themselves. That's how they feel good. That's when they open up and share. And so you start off by asking good questions, right? If you're talking to a potential client, you ask them questions about what they're trying to accomplish, what problems they have, and you ask them questions in such a way that the answers they give you basically lead into you presenting your product or service as the answer to the problem that they've got. And so the first rule is to ask good questions. Any elevator pitch doesn't start with you just vomiting all this stuff out to them. It starts with you asking very good questions. Questions about what they do, about their business, about their life, about their problems. If they are an aspiring entrepreneur and they need your business service, you ask them questions about the service you do, not really about it, but okay, so if you're a marketing company, you're asking, great, what do you do with marketing right now? And how is that working? And what challenges have you run into? And by asking them the right questions, then you can present your company as the solution that they need by showing them the benefits of that, right? And so same thing if you're working with a strategic partner. So for example, in our case, we went by several vendor booths of companies that sponsored GrowthCon last week, and we would ask them questions. Okay, great. So, you guys are selling a $25,000 mastermind product or a $10,000 online marketing service. What happens when you have someone who is very interested in your product, but they just don't have the cash to pay for it? They can't afford it right now. Do you have a financing program in place? They explain, no, gosh dang it, that'd be great if we did. We could monetize a lot more clients. We could help a lot more people make more money and succeed. And so by asking them the right questions, then we could very simply explain what we do. And that's super important, right? So number one, you ask good questions. Number two, you simply explain what you do. And so if you get into all the technical babble about, well, our product does this, it has all these features, people start to tune out. So you want to keep it simple. Russell Brunson says when you're explaining something confusing, you use a kind of like this narrative. So for example, ClickFunnels is kind of confusing to a lot of people, but Russell Brunson's made it simple because he says ClickFunnels is kind of like having the greatest salesman on planet Earth selling your product for you 24 hours a day. And so Fundwise Capital, for example, is kind of like taking the smartest finance person on earth and having them build you a custom funding plan and execute you and get you the very best money that you can qualify for to grow your business. So you use this kind of analogy to take something that your business does that's complicated and make it a lot more simpler. So you ask the good questions, you make it simple, and then the third thing you do, you practice the heck out of that elevator pitch, right? You know what you do and you practice it so many times that it comes off so smooth that you're not even nervous because you just have muscle memory, right? I think back to several years ago, I remember Lamar Odom for the Lakers was shooting free throws to beat the Boston Celtics in the 2010 NBA Finals, and he didn't think. The muscle memory just took over and he made those free throws. They won the game, they won the series, and that's exactly what it's like with an elevator pitch. When you practiced it so many times, you can just quickly and smoothly get that pitch out and that message and that presentation. I'll end with this. At GrowthCon, we watched Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels present ClickFunnels to the audience, and 5,000 people walked out of GrowthCon buying ClickFunnels and paying $3,000. He made $15 million in about 90 minutes. And he did that because he has practiced his pitch not dozens of times, Not hundreds of times, but thousands of times. So if you want to dominate in your market, you need to know your pitch and you need to practice it thousands of times. So that's the key to the elevator pitch. Ask good questions, keep it simple, and practice it thousands of times. We'll see you next time.